If you woke up this morning feeling lost, like you're drifting through your days, unsure where you're heading, unsure who you even are anymore, this message is for you. Because feeling lost doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're being called to find yourself again. Let me tell you something powerful. Everyone, at some point, feels lost. Even the strongest, most confident people you admire have stood exactly where you are, wondering, what's next? But here's the truth: being lost is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of your rebirth. It's life's way of shaking you awake, showing you that you've outgrown where you are and it's time to become someone new. You are not behind. You're not late. You're not failing. You are simply being guided, pulled toward something that your current self can't yet see. The confusion you feel? It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of transition. You're shedding an old version of yourself and stepping into a new one. So if you feel lost right now, listen closely. This is your reminder that clarity doesn't come before you move. It comes after. The way you find your path is by taking one step, then another, even when you can't see the whole road. You don't need all the answers. You just need the courage to begin. Feeling lost doesn't mean you failed. It means something inside you is shifting, evolving, expanding beyond the life you've known. You've probably been moving through your days on autopilot, doing what you're supposed to do, saying what you think you're supposed to say, living the life others expected you to live. And for a while that worked. It felt safe, predictable, comfortable even. But now that same life that once made sense feels tight, dull, maybe even suffocating. That's not a breakdown, that's growth. It's your soul whispering, this isn't it anymore? When you feel lost, it's because the map you've been following no longer matches the person you're becoming. You've changed. Your dreams have shifted, your priorities have evolved, your heart is asking for something more. And that's a good thing. Growth always starts in confusion. Every great transformation begins with the feeling that you've lost your direction. It's like walking through a fog. You can't see where you're heading, but that doesn't mean you're off track. The fog is there to slow you down, to make you pause, to give you space to rediscover who you really are without all the noise. Most people panic when they feel lost. They scramble to fill the silence, to find answers, to get back to normal. But what if this feeling is your wake-up call? What if feeling lost is your invitation to let go of everything that's no longer serving you? The job that drains you, the people who don't understand you, the habits that keep you small. What if this is your chance to rebuild from the inside out? Because when life pulls the rug out from under you, it's not punishing you. It's clearing space for something better. You have to understand, growth is uncomfortable because it forces you to leave behind the version of yourself that everyone recognized, including you. And that's scary. It's like stepping into a new room with no lights on, no map, no instructions. But here's the truth: you don't need a map. You just need trust. You need to believe that the feeling of being lost is not a void. It's a transition. You're not missing your purpose, you're molding into it. The discomfort you feel is your future self stretching into existence. So instead of resisting this moment, lean into it. Stop fighting the uncertainty. Stop labeling it as wrong. The chaos, the confusion, the quiet, it's all part of the process. You're being asked to slow down and listen. To pay attention to what's falling away and what's trying to emerge. Because somewhere deep down, beneath the noise of doubt and fear, you already know where you're meant to go. You've just been too distracted to hear it. Feeling lost is not losing yourself. It's remembering who you are. It's the universe, life, or maybe just your own heart pulling you back home. To truth, to purpose, to peace. You're not off course. You're right where you're supposed to be. Most people spend their whole lives waiting to find their purpose, as if it's some hidden treasure buried somewhere outside of them. They keep searching, in books, in relationships, in jobs, in validation from others, hoping that one day something or someone will reveal why they're here. But purpose doesn't work that way. It's not something you stumble upon. It's something you create. It's built piece by piece through action, through trial and error, through showing up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. When you feel lost, it's easy to sit still and overthink. You replay everything in your head, waiting for clarity before taking the first step. But that's not how purpose works. Clarity doesn't appear before you move, it comes after. You find out who you are and what matters to you by doing, not by sitting around waiting for the perfect moment. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step. Every small action, every decision to move forward, even when you don't know where it will lead, shapes your direction. Purpose isn't about what you're supposed to do for the rest of your life. It's about what you can do today that gives you meaning. Maybe it's helping someone who needs it. Maybe it's working on your craft, learning something new, pushing yourself a little harder. Maybe it's simply refusing to give up on yourself when everything feels uncertain. Purpose is built in the tiny choices that no one else sees, the ones that align you with who you want to become. Stop telling yourself you don't know your purpose. You do. It's that thing that makes your heart beat faster when you think about it. It's the idea that won't leave your mind, no matter how much you try to silence it. It's the curiosity that pulls you in even when you're afraid. But you'll never fully understand it by just thinking about it. You have to step into it. You have to act, fail, learn, and act again. Every single experience, whether it works out or not, is shaping the bigger picture of your life. When you stop waiting for purpose to find you and start creating it, everything changes. Suddenly, you stop caring about what others think. You stop measuring your life by other people's timelines. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. Instead, you focus on growth, on progress, on contribution, on showing up, because purpose isn't a destination you reach. It's a direction you choose every single day. So, if you feel lost right now, start small. Take one intentional step toward what matters. Don't wait for the motivation. Don't wait for the confidence. Those come later. The act of doing is what creates both. You'll discover that the more you move, the more life begins to reveal itself to you. Because purpose doesn't show up when everything is perfect. It shows up when you do. When life feels confusing and directionless, your first instinct is often to look outward for answers. You start asking other people what they think, scrolling through social media, reading self-help posts, listening to countless opinions, hoping someone somewhere will tell you what to do next. But the truth is, every time you look outward, you move further away from the one person who actually knows what you need. You. The world is noisy. It's filled with voices telling you who to be, what to want, how to live. And when you listen to all of them at once, you lose the sound of your own. You've probably been so busy keeping up with expectations, trying to fit in, trying to not disappoint anyone, that you've forgotten how to simply be still with yourself. You've stopped asking, what do I really want? Or what actually makes me happy? Instead, you've been measuring your worth by how others see you. And that's the fastest way to lose yourself completely. The truth is, your intuition, that quiet voice inside, already knows what's right for you. It's been whispering all along. You just haven't been still enough to listen. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers. When you unplug from the noise, when you take time away from the constant distractions, you begin to reconnect with that inner voice. The one that's been drowned out by doubt and comparison. And yes, at first it's uncomfortable. Sitting alone with your thoughts can be terrifying because you can't hide from yourself anymore. But that's where the real clarity begins to form. The things you've been avoiding thinking about finally surface. The truth about what you want, what you need to let go of, and who you're becoming. It's in those quiet moments that you realize you already have the answers. You've just been too afraid to trust them. Maybe because they challenge what you've always believed, or they push you to make hard choices. Maybe because following your truth means disappointing someone else. But that's the thing about growth. It requires honesty. And honesty often comes with letting go. When you start listening to yourself, you begin to notice patterns. You see what drains you, what inspires you, what feels right and what doesn't. You stop chasing after things that don't align with who you are, and you start moving toward what actually feels like home. You learn that peace doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from trusting yourself enough to take the next step, even without them. So, take a break from the world's noise. Log out, go for a walk. Write down what you feel without judgment. Give yourself permission to breathe, to think, to just be. Because underneath all the confusion and chaos, there's a version of you who knows exactly what you need to do next. And that version of you has been waiting, patiently, for you to finally listen. When you feel lost, the temptation to wait until you figure things out can be overwhelming. You tell yourself you'll start once you have more clarity, once you feel more confident, once you know exactly what the outcome will be. But the truth is, clarity doesn't come before action, it's born from it. You can't think your way into certainty, you have to move your way there. The more you act, the more you discover what works and what doesn't. The path reveals itself only to those who are willing to walk it. Taking one small step, even when you don't know where it will lead, is what separates those who stay stuck from those who grow. The hardest part isn't the work itself, it's beginning. It's taking that first uncomfortable step when you're filled with doubt, fear, and uncertainty. You don't need a perfect plan, you just need momentum. Because momentum is magic. Once you start moving, energy begins to build. You start to feel alive again. You start to believe in yourself again. Even the smallest progress creates a spark that reminds you, I can do this. You might think you have to wait for motivation to appear before taking action, but that's the biggest leap. Motivation doesn't show up first. It's the result of doing something. You feel motivated after you move, not before. That's why action is so powerful. It breaks the mental paralysis of overthinking. The second you start sending that email, making that call, writing that page, going for that walk, your brain shifts from fear to focus. You stop being a spectator of your own life and start becoming the creator of it. You don't have to know how it's all going to work out. You don't have to see the entire road. You just need to take one step, the next right step. Maybe that means waking up a little earlier. Maybe it's cleaning your space, finishing something you started, or making a choice you've been avoiding. Every small decision creates a ripple effect that leads you somewhere new. Progress doesn't happen overnight. It's built in the quiet consistency of showing up, even when no one is watching, even when you don't feel ready. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. You'll doubt yourself. You'll question if it's worth it. But every great transformation begins in uncertainty. Every person who's ever achieved something incredible started with one brave step into the unknown. What if instead of waiting for the fear to go away, you move with it? What if you stopped waiting for confidence and built it instead? One decision, one action, one moment at a time. When you take action, even in confusion, life starts responding. Opportunities appear. People show up. Things begin to align in ways you couldn't have predicted. But none of that happens until you move. So stop waiting for permission, for motivation, for certainty. Take one step, then another. That's how you find yourself, not by thinking, but by becoming. When you feel lost, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. You look around and see people who seem to have it all figured out. Their careers, their relationships, their sense of purpose. You scroll through social media and feel like everyone else is miles ahead while you're stuck at the starting line. But here's the truth, everyone is figuring it out, just like you. The difference is, some people are simply more focused on their own journey than on anyone else's. The more time you spend comparing your path to someone else's, the less energy you have to walk your own. You have to understand that your journey is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Your timeline is not broken just because it's different. What's meant for you cannot pass you by. But you have to be present enough to receive it. When you're so busy watching others, you miss the opportunities in front of you. You can't grow while constantly questioning if you're behind. Growth happens in silence, in seasons where no one claps for you, in the moments you choose to stay consistent when no one is watching. That's where real strength is built. When you stop comparing, something incredible happens. Peace enters your life. You stop chasing validation and start valuing progress. You begin to see that success isn't about how fast you get there. It's about how much you grow along the way. Life isn't a race. It's a personal evolution. Everyone's story unfolds differently because everyone's lessons are different. You might be in a season of preparation while someone else is in a season of bloom, and that's okay. The flower doesn't envy the tree. It just grows in its own time. Comparison will rob you of gratitude faster than anything else. It will make you forget how far you've already come. You may not be where you want to be, but you're not where you were, and that's worth celebrating. Every small victory counts. Every obstacle you've overcome has shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. When you appreciate your journey, you begin to attract more things to be grateful for. Gratitude doesn't just shift your mindset, it shifts your entire energy. It reminds you that you are not behind. You are exactly where you're supposed to be to learn what you need for what's next. The moment you stop comparing is the moment you start winning. That's when you reclaim your peace and your power. Because comparison keeps you stuck in other people's stories, but focus helps you write your own. When you put your head down and commit to your own growth, things start moving. You stop trying to compete and start trying to become. You stop asking, why not me? And start realizing my time will come. And it will, the second you start living your life, not theirs. Life isn't about waiting for someone to come and show you the way. It's about realizing that you already hold the compass. Every single experience you've had, every failure, every doubt, every moment of pain has been shaping you into the person you're meant to become. If you feel lost right now, it doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're being called to reconnect, to slow down, to listen, and to find direction within yourself instead of outside noise. The truth is, no one really knows what they're doing all the time. Everyone's learning, falling, rebuilding, and trying again. So give yourself grace. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to take one honest step toward who you want to be. Today, right now. Because the path only appears when you move. The answers you're searching for won't come from overthinking or comparing your journey to others. They'll come when you start living, when you start doing, when you start believing that you are capable of more than the voice of doubt in your head wants you to believe. Your future self is waiting, not for the perfect moment, not for the perfect plan, but for you to start. You can't rewrite your past, but you can absolutely shape your future. You can rebuild, reimagine, and rediscover who you are. So stop waiting. Stop questioning if you're enough. Start becoming. Start walking with faith that every step you take, no matter how small, is moving you closer to the life you're meant to live. And as you keep going, remember this, growth is never loud. It's quiet, uncomfortable, and often lonely. But when you come out on the other side, you'll realize it was worth every ounce of effort. You'll look back and see that every lost season was really just preparation. You weren't lost, you were being led. Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this message spoke to your heart, take it as a reminder that you have everything you need to rise. Keep showing up for yourself, keep growing, and never stop believing in the power of your own comeback. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong, stay focused, and keep becoming who you're meant to be. Thank you for listening, and remember, your journey is just beginning.